Time now for ABC. Time now for ABC 4 News Sports with Wesley Ruff.
Utah native and PGA Tour player Tony Finau was supposed to be getting ready for the Masters, which was scheduled to start next week. That, of course, is now off the table. But Finau is staying busy by helping out. Instead of hitting clutch shots and making putts and hitting big drives, Tony is going to gather food tomorrow. His Tony Finau Foundation is teaming up with For the Kids, and they're going to deliver the food to help 500 of Utah's most at-risk children. Attaboy, Tony. We'll hear from him tomorrow at that event. And when the coronavirus pandemic shut down college football spring practices, it also put an end to the pro days. That's when NFL scouts come to a college and watch the players work out in person, put them through specific drills. Utah State coach Gary Anderson said this is one of the highlights of the year for the young men who are trying to make it in the NFL.
Pro day is boy, it's a big day for these kids, and they're not going to get that day this year, obviously, throughout the country. It's tough. Again, we have to adjust, but you can't just say, oh, we'll just adjust and move on, which we will, but you can't discount the fact that, man, it's a special opportunity that's missed for all those kids. The kids will work. I'm sure they're going to be creative. They'll have to build their own workout. They'll have to film it. They'll have to tape it. They'll have to do what they can do to get that out there to those teams that are looking for the information. And if the teams aren't looking for the information, then they're going to have to catch their eye with the video somehow. They have to be creative.
Former Utah State quarterback Jordan Love attended the NFL Combine, so teams got to see him. But since he can't work out in front of scouts now, he's left to find other ways to get his name out there before the draft.
I'm sure he's talking to teams much like we are in recruiting through FaceTime or through video calls or whatever it may be, and he's talking to GMs and offensive coordinators and quarterback coaches and goodness knows who else through a video screen, which is, I'm sure he's learned, he's gotten better at it, but that's not what he's used to. He's used to going out there and being a quarterback.
No Utah Jazz games going on this March 29th, but they were busy on March 29th in the past. In 1982, the Jazz lost to Phoenix 113-102, the last game of an 18-game losing streak. Ouch. On March 29th, 1989, the Jazz hosting Detroit. The bad boys of the Pistons up to their old tricks. Bill Laimbeer and Rick Mahorn started shoving Karl Malone, got a little heated there for a bit. Time running out in this game. The Jazz were down by 3. John Stockton with the ball. He gets the lean-in three-pointer at the buzzer and hits it. This game went into double overtime, but Bill Laimbeer and the Pistons get the victory, 108-104. Boo. In 1996, the Jazz were hosting Vancouver. Former Jazz top draft pick Blue Edwards, who was then playing with the Grizzlies, gets the dunk on the fast break. He had 26 against his former team. The Jazz won at 105-91. It was Vancouver's 21st straight loss, and that set an NBA record. Antoine Carr, the big dog, was barking that night. And last year, March 29th, the Jazz were hosting Washington. Donovan Mitchell with the breakaway dunk, 2 of his 35 points. Joe Ingles, the step-back J to beat the buzzer. He had 18 points. Then Mitchell to Gobert, the one-handed jam. He had 13 points, 17 rebounds. The Jazz won it, 128-124. That was just 1 year ago. Dang, I miss basketball. And while we were going through the old tapes, we stumbled across an old best and worst tape from 1993. It's worth seeing again. So check this out. It's the best and the worst circa March, 1993. It starts with the Jazz Bear sledding down the stairs at the then Delta Center. Oh, and he crashes and burns. Ben Wallace of the Wizards shooting a free throw and comes up woefully short. The worst pass on the break, doinks it off his teammate's head. Some really bad dunks that week. That one, Michael Jordan misses one right here, and then another one. This hockey player tries to climb over the boards, but he had a stick stuck in his skate. That's tough. Windsurfer with a jump, and the epic fail. Oh, two NBA players having a slight disagreement, and they both end up on the court. This pitcher with a comebacker, and oh my, that's going to ruin his weekend. And finally, a hockey fight. But it's between the two goalies. That's something you don't see very often. Actually, it was only one goalie fighting, the other one's getting wailed on. So that was what was happening on this day back in March of 1993. And coming up tonight on Real Sports Live, we'll interview Utah Jazz broadcaster Craig Bolerjack about what happened in Oklahoma City, his time in quarantine, and what he thinks the chances are for the NBA to return this year. That's Real Sports Live coming up at 10:45, and we will be right back.
And welcome back. Usually about this time of year we talk about snowpack, right, Adam?
That's right. Well, April 1st, it starts to become rather skewed as the temperatures really start to warm up. But, not too bad right now. Even though we're still below where we were last year, we're at 100% for the state, 108% for the state. Interior west as well, Nick, looks pretty good except for the periphery. And our drought, unfortunately, Nick, we have a little bit of one going on right now.
At least over 100%. Not too bad. Okay, thanks, Adam. We'll be right back after the break. And that's all for us tonight. We appreciate you tuning in, and we know how hard things are going right now. We want to give you a little balance. Real Sports Live is next.
Time now for ABC4 Utah's Real Sports Live.
Hey everybody, welcome to Real Sports Live. We've shortened things up a bit. We're going to go 15 minutes instead of our usual 45 minutes for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, and in this time when sports is taking a long time out, we did get some good news this week. All the Utah Jazz players and staff, including Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell, were cleared by the health department. Their quarantines are over.
And joining us via Skype now is the voice of the Utah Jazz, Craig Bolerjack, who has been in quarantine for a couple of weeks. Bowler, congratulations. You're out of quarantine.
Woohoo!
Congrats.
Oh, it feels good, guys, and I really appreciate your 6 foot of proximity.
At least.
Nicely done. Nicely done.
Hey, Bowler, what a crazy night that was in Oklahoma City, about 2.5 weeks ago. Take us through your experience there, because that was insane.
Well, we only have 15. I could fill 30, maybe even longer, but I'll be honest, a long story short, when we got on the bus, I always take the second bus over. Quinn Snyder had told us he wanted to talk with us in Oklahoma City in this little private room off the front door that would lead us to our buses. So myself and Big T, Donovan, Joe Ingles, Bogdanovich, and Coach, and I'm thinking Royce O'Neal was in that room. Just about 7, 8 of us, along with a couple of the PR people, and he just told us that Rudy was being tested. And so obviously in my years of being a newsbreaker, I kind of, okay, the antennas go up and I knew something wasn't right. So we get on the bus and again, we get to the arena. I felt no panic in the arena as they were asked to leave after the word came down that the game would not be played. And then I got a text message to go to the locker room, and they met us there and put us in a room just outside the Jazz locker room. And that's where we were quarantined for the next 6 or so hours. And then the whole process began. I've been around a long time, and this is something that I never would have expected. I'm just glad to talk to you two. It gives me great freedom and kind of really helps my psyche to be totally honest.
Sense of normalcy.
We're happy to help out. You mentioned the word panic with fans. When you heard that you had to be tested, there had to be a little bit of panic because you're like me, you're over 60 years old, and we're in that age group. Was there a little bit of panic on your end?
Thanks, Wes. For that.
Just outed him. We can see the gray in your goatee.
I don't think at that particular time I was that educated on really the severities of where the virus and what and who it was taking its toll on. I had heard a day or two prior, I think, that it was more of the elderly, and so I guess thankfully I hadn't put myself in that category yet. But then I became more aware as the night went on because this story grew and grew. But it's amazing when you get in a situation like that, how people react and respond. And it was a study of humankind. I know this is a heavy conversation, but I learned a lot about myself and about my colleagues on how you handle moments of stress, uncertainty, and fear, because we felt all that.
Bowler, we're glad you're okay. As far as the season itself goes, what are your thoughts about the return of the NBA? How confident are you that it's going to come back in some form? And is it worth it to come back if there are no fans that are able to watch it in person?
Well, Dana, this is the question that everyone is wanting answers to, and I'm no expert. I can't dive into a coronavirus COVID-19 expert, and I'm going to leave that to the professionals, the experts, on deciding what we do and when we do it. For my own chair, personally, I would love to play, but I also understand that it has to be safe for everyone, and players, obviously. I think it'd be difficult to play without fans. I just hope that calm heads prevail and the right decision is made when the time is actually right and healthy for all.
Let me ask you, Craig, I know you're a Utah Jazz employee, so it's going to be hard to talk about this, but there's been a lot of talk about reported strife in the locker room with Gobert and the way he kind of treated it lightly before he was diagnosed with the COVID-19 virus.
Right.
Is there damage repair that needs to be done in that locker room?
You know, that's a great question that I'm going to just acquiesce to Donovan and Rudy to fix it if there is. Look, I think what Rudy did, he understood was not the right thing, and I'm glad he came out and apologized. But you know what? It was also a young player who was downplaying at the time what was really happening. I think all of us weren't certain just how serious. I know I wasn't.
No, exactly,
how serious this situation was going to be. And his proximity, mind you, they share locker space right next to each other. They have a very dynamic relationship. And I'm hoping that this ultimately will bring them even closer.
Before we let you go, Bowler, I know that the players are trying to stay in shape on their own. How does a broadcaster stay in shape? Are you calling like old games, or are you staying fresh? Because we're going to need you when the NBA season returns.
Work on that voice.
Well, I tell you what, I've slept more than I ever have, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's just the fatigue or the anxiety that I have felt over the last couple of weeks. All of us, I think, when you're saying stay in your home, what do? You sit and watch TV, and the next thing you know, your head snaps back, right? And that's what I've been going through. But what I'm glad the Jazz have done is we're doing Jazz playback on certain nights. We're going to record another one that's going to air tomorrow night. So that's helpful. And I think it's been good therapy for us, and I hope it's been good therapy for Jazz Nation. And hopefully sooner than later, we're back doing what we love.
Absolutely.
And giving the fans what they want: Jazz basketball, NFL, college football, amateur athletics, all the above. But the first and foremost, I really want to just say, stay safe, be smart, and really keep an eye on family and friends, and we're going to get through this.
All right, Craig, thank you very much. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah,
Good
thanks,
luck on
caller.
that goatee.
Yeah, it's looking
What
good.
do you think? I don't know. I've had it for 7 days, but I'm not sure if it's really me, but it's a challenge in my house. So I'm going to continue, and
Go
then
for
I'll
it.
let
Go
fans
for it.
decide yay or nay.
Just tell the family to buckle up.
Yeah.
It's happening.
Everyone buckle up. Here we go.
Thanks,
All
Bowler.
right, Craig, thank you very much.
to
Good
see
luck.
you guys.
Take care.
Thanks.
All right, we're going to take a quick time out here on Real Sports Live.
Yeah, but coming up, we're going to check in with Utah's all-time leading rusher to hear how he's preparing for the NFL draft. Stick around.
Welcome back to Real Sports Live. The biggest news this past week nationally and, of course, internationally was the postponement of the 2020 Summer Olympics by 1 year.
That's right. The Tokyo Olympics were pushed back to July 2021. And with all the travel and all the complexity the Olympics bring, this only makes sense. But you have to feel for the athletes like Utah gymnast Michaela Skinner, who should have made the 2016 Olympic team, made it as an alternate but didn't compete, and then left Utah a year early to train for the 2020 games and was on track to make the team. And now this. Wes, do you see Skinner making a run at the 2021 Olympics?
Boy, that's a tough decision she has to make because she's currently 23 years old. That is old for a gymnast. If it goes to 2021, and that she'll be 24, and then she has to decide if she's going to come back to college, which she said she was going to do before.
One more year. She has 1 more year eligibility.
But now she'd be 25 years old, and that is just like so far on the other end of the spectrum for a gymnast. I don't know if her body can take it. She's still working out down in Arizona. Training, and she
says she's going to continue.
Says she's going to continue, but I think when she thinks about it, I don't know. That's a tough decision and one that she has to make individually. No one can make that decision for her.
I hope she comes back to Utah for her senior season. I want her to see her pursue Olympic dreams. I want her to see her come back to Utah. Still not as bad as 1980, though, with the boycott when they had to wait 4 years to 1984.
And it causes a problem for Utah if she comes back because they're going to have to do some reshuffling with the scholarship. So it'll be interesting to see what she does. All right, with the cancellation of spring practices all across the country, college football teams now have to train on their own.
Yeah, that's right. At BYU, Kalani Sitake said his team is handling this unprecedented situation well and isn't thinking just yet about the possibility of canceling the entire season. Kalani Sitake says missing spring practice is a small price to pay for staying safe.
Human lives matter more than anything right now. Than my job, than anybody else's job, and definitely more than the sport. So we're focused on trying to take care of mankind and be be sensitive and be as much supportive as we can to others. Tom shut down the whole athletic department way ahead of time, even before school was shut down, before classes, and I thought that was a great move, and then trying to get a handle on this, but obviously disappointed in a lot of things and not being able to compete, but there's some things that are just way more important than sports right now.
Sitake isn't sure when teams will be allowed to practice again.
And I think whatever they say we have, I'll go with it. As long as we're all given the same amount of time. We're all given the same amount of time to prepare for the season. We'll be ready for it.
As for the possibility of canceling the entire season?
Not really worried about that. I'm more focused on here and now and the day-to-day, focused on the present. I think that stuff worrying about August and March does us no good.
In the meantime, the BYU players face the challenge of working out in their own homes with some guidance from the BYU training staff.
We have all that in place. We send out our workouts for the guys to do, and it's been modified to help them, knowing that they're not going to have an opportunity to probably be in the gym. And so we're doing a lot of different things, more at the running and the agility part. But we have those workouts out to our players. We're keeping them updated and a daily basic checklist for them to get done.
Another challenge is the fact that missionaries are being sent home early because of the coronavirus. Do they go on scholarship right away? Does their NCAA eligibility clock begin when they get home? There are still a lot of questions that Sitake says will eventually be answered.
Currently, there's 47 guys on our team that are on missions right now, and ask them for some patience and understanding and knowing the situation. But I think keeping that line of communication is important for us. Many of them are getting reassigned a different area. So right now, still focused on the present. We're still dealing with day-to-day. The scholarship numbers are always an issue when you're dealing with missionaries and the timing of returning from missions. But this is just another adjustment that we have to make.
In these unsettling times, Sitake says he's proud of the way his team has handled the crisis.
I can honestly say I've been really impressed with our players. We have about a third of our players have gone home, and maybe more will transition there. But we're talking with them and staying in contact with them, communicating with them. But it's our job as coaches and as mentors to help educate them as much as possible.
Did you see Kalani dancing too this week with his daughter? Yeah. That was awesome.
Good stuff. All right, at the University of Utah, this was supposed to be the week that the Utes held their annual pro day when NFL prospects work out for the NFL scouts.
Yeah, instead, guys like Zach Moss are working out on their own, doing Skype interviews with teams. Talked to Moss this past week via Skype, and he said he's looking forward to hear his name called next month. Zach Moss wishes he could have worked out with his old teammates today.
I was definitely looking forward to seeing all those guys that I haven't seen in a few months and just watching them go out there and compete. So, it's definitely a little disappointing that you don't get the chance to, be back out there.
Despite the coronavirus, Moss still does have access to a gym and has been working out on his own.
They've been doing a really good job just keeping everything clean. And keeping a very low amount of guys. I think it's probably like 5 or 6 guys at a time maximum.
Moss did run the 40-yard dash at the NFL Combine, but he says his game film should be proof that he can be an every down back at the next level.
I think that, my film definitely speaks for itself. I feel like, besides running the ball, breaking tackles, which a lot of guys can do at a high rate, I tell them that, my football IQ, I think, is what really distanced me from a lot of guys, and then my willingness to be able to be a pass blocker. So they really do feel like I can be an every down back.
NFL scouts are known for asking every question under the sun to prospects, but the strangest thing Moss had to do was have a staring contest to prove his alpha personality.
So he had me do a staring contest for like 5 minutes. It was kind of just weird doing something like that, but I'm definitely up for a challenge.
NFL scouts haven't been able to take their eyes off of Moss, who's rated as a top 5 running back in the draft, but he's number 1 in Utah history and helped take the program to new heights.
Coming in, 4 years ago with, Tyler and Damari, and then that entire 2016 class. I feel like it's one of the best classes ever there. Very talented group that really changed the face of it.
There could be as many as 8 or 9 Utes taken in the draft, which is still scheduled for April 23rd. Basically, the only sporting event that hasn't been postponed or canceled. Are you doing a staring contest with me?
Who's the alpha here?
You're going to lose that one.
That's going to do it for us. We hope you stay safe and have a great week out there next week.